All right, let's get into it. Today we're looking at this really interesting shift that's happening in luxury home design. And, it's all starting in a place you probably wouldn't expect, the middle of the Las Vegas desert. We're going to talk about a move away from those big, flashy, made-for-Instagram backyards to something, well, a lot more personal.
And this quote right here, it just nails what's going on. This isn't some loud, flashy trend that's all over the news. It's a quiet but really significant evolution. The whole idea of the luxury backyard, the one built for big parties and to show off, it's being totally rethought from the ground up.
So this brings us to the big question, really the one that's driving this whole explainer. Just think about it for a second. What if your outdoor space wasn't built to impress your friends, but to actually improve you, to boost your recovery, sharpen your mind, and just generally support your well-being? That's the core idea we're digging into.
So let's give it a name. People are calling them performance-driven environments. And here's the most important takeaway. The entire purpose has shifted. It's not about creating a visual masterpiece for other people anymore. It's about building a personal sanctuary, a space that's literally engineered to restore the person who lives there.
Okay, so you might be asking, what does this actually look like? What are the nuts and bolts? How do you take a yard that's entertainment first and turn it into what designers are calling a wellness circuit? Let's break down the actual changes.
At its core, this whole thing is a change in philosophy. The old way? Simple. Build to impress. Bigger was always better. The new way? Build to restore. It's a huge shift from making this outward-facing statement about your wealth to making an inward-facing investment in your own health. And when you look at the swaps they're making, it's pretty fascinating. So where you used to have one giant fancy pool, now you're seeing integrated cold plunges and special hydrotherapy zones. Those old fixed patio covers, they're being replaced by smart, adaptive shade systems, and all those high-maintenance decorative plants are being swapped for landscaping that's actually designed to create a better microclimate. Let's zero in on that first one, the cold plunge. This isn't just a tiny pool. It's a very specific tool for your health. You've probably heard about it from athletes or biohackers. It's all about using cold water hydrotherapy to cut down inflammation and build resilience. Having one of these is a dead giveaway that the space is designed for performance, not just for a lazy Sunday swim. And then there's the second big innovation, bioclimatic shading. Think about it. In a place like Vegas, a normal patio cover is only really useful for a few hours a day, a few months a year. But this bioclimatic shading is smart. It's got these automated louvers that literally track the sun and adjust themselves to create the perfect little microclimate. It makes the outdoor space usable pretty much all year round. It's just a really intelligent answer to a tough climate problem. So when you pull all these different elements together, you've got the cold plunge for recovery, you've got dedicated zones for movement like yoga, and you've got that restorative natural landscaping, you get what's being called a wellness circuit. It's not just a backyard with a bunch of cool features anymore, it's a whole system, designed to guide you through a daily routine for your own health and restoration. Right, so we've covered the what is changing, which of course leads to the next big question, why? Why this specific shift, and why is it all happening right now? Let's take a look at the different forces that are making this happen. It really comes down to 5 main things all converging at once. First, you've got the rise of longevity culture and biohacking. Second, a very real need for climate adaptation, especially in harsh places like the desert. Third, the whole idea of wellness is becoming its own kind of status symbol. Fourth, the boom in remote work means we're all spending way more time at home. And finally, architects are just getting better at blending indoor and outdoor spaces together seamlessly. And all of these forces are meeting and mixing in Las Vegas. Yeah, it might sound a little weird, but when you think about it, the city has this unique combination of a high-end housing market, a really challenging climate, and a culture that loves innovation. It makes it the perfect lab for this new kind of outdoor living. And what's really cool is that even inside Vegas, you're seeing 2 different styles pop up. Over in Summerlin, which is a more established luxury area, the vibe is very minimalist and modern. Think clean lines, sleek design. But then you go over to Henderson, and designers are being a lot more experimental, creating these really organic, nature-focused spaces that practically blend the house right into the desert. So what's the big picture here? Where is all of this headed? Because this isn't just about aesthetics. It's a major market shift with some real business opportunities. So let's look at what's coming next and who stands to gain. If you want to spot this trend out in the real world, here are the things to look for. Number 1, obviously, is seeing cold plunges integrated into the design.
But also keep an eye out for hydrotherapy waterfalls, smart climate controls, a heavy use of native plants, and layouts that are clearly designed for movement. These are the telltale signs.
And if you're a developer, a designer, or an investor, the opportunity here is pretty huge. We're talking about the potential for premium pricing on homes that put wellness first. We're probably going to see new partnerships between architects and, say, health experts. It opens up a whole new world for upselling integrated design packages. You could even brand entire communities around this idea of longevity. The folks who get in early on this are going to be ahead of the curve, for sure.
Which really brings us to our final thought for today. For the last 10 years or so, we've been obsessed with making our homes smarter, with connected gadgets and automation. This trend suggests that the next big thing is making our homes healthier, and not just with an air purifier, but with the architecture itself. So it leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about. As our homes get smarter, will they also start to actively make us healthier? We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.